this recording. I've just realised because I've got lots of people that are also excited about getting the recording because they couldn't be here. And I'll also start to show you my screen as well, which is just got some, we'll go through on the slideshow there as well. So welcome to you guys that are live and present with me. Can I just have somebody, or all of you, perhaps just either type in the chat box or in the question box, just a yes or no, just so that I can be certain that you guys can definitely hear me, that's all. So if somebody could just do that so that I'm really clear that you guys have full audio and can hear me easily, that would be fantastic. There's just a chat section or a question section. So if you can just pop a quick yes in there, that would be great. Waiting. Okay. Wonderful, that's great. So we've definitely got confirmation, at least someone can definitely hear us, so that's really, really good. So we'll jump in and get started. And again, just a huge welcome to you this morning in regards to jumping on the webinar and taking time out of your day as well to get some answers, no doubt, and to feel better within yourself and to be able to move forward in a much easier way, getting out of your stress and increasing your energy. And of course, you know, when we do feel stressed, it absolutely impacts on our physical body. So I'll definitely touch on that during the webinar this morning. Just a little bit of an introduction about me. Some of you know me quite well. Some of you I've not actually had the pleasure of working with before. So I'll just a little bit of an intro about me. Previously, I was a kinesiologist. I actually finished that up in a couple of weeks, and I'm moving more into my passion of life coaching and really helping people with my online program, which I just absolutely love. We're getting phenomenal results, so that's truly, truly exciting. About 8 years ago, my life took a massive change. I had some things that slapped me around a fair bit and shook me up, and my marriage broke down and my mum passed away, and it really it made me look at life in a very, very different way. I was struggling to get out of bed. I was overcome with a lot of grief on the passing of my mum. I had 2 beautiful girls at the time and just was really struggling financially, emotionally, physically, in lots and lots of different ways as well. So I went on a journey. My whole reason why was literally I knew that I wasn't being the mum that I wanted to be for my kids, and so that was what took me on my journey originally. And now I have the absolute pleasure of sharing the journey that I went on and a lot of the key tools and strategies that literally shaped and shifted my life to be able to not only envisage a life that I would love and would enjoy, but also to step in and create that as well. So I'm excited to share a lot more about that with you guys, as well as a super special opportunity at the end of this as well, in terms of really implementing what you'll learn here today and be able to get that in at a very, very different level and actually start living that way as well. So I'm excited to share that opportunity with you at the end as well. So, you know, why is this super important for me in presenting this today, and why am I so passionate about it? Literally, I just think as mums, you know, we really push ourselves at times as women. You know, we're out in the workforce, we're doing, you know, lots of different things, and we can tend to lose a sense of self very, very quickly, lose direction. I know I can put both hands in the air and say, you know, I did all the pleaser behaviours as well, where, you know, the feeling like we need to, we have to, we should, and feeling obligated, and it drains us, and it really doesn't lead to living a fulfilled life either. So I'm passionate about helping particularly women really empower themselves to be able to say no when they need it, to be able to take that time out to relax and to feel fulfilled within themselves, because at the end of the day, you know, how we're living each day is literally a mini version of our life. So if we're not happy in how we're living, you know, we need to make some changes, because otherwise that will become our life. And 5 or 10 years can escape very, very quickly just through, not making changes or feeling stuck or not knowing what to do and step forward and not making the decisions that we need to. I know I stayed certainly in a marriage far too long, and it was simply I didn't have the courage to make the decision at the time. And we're all on our journey, and wherever you are at the moment is absolutely perfect as well. Just knowing that we can't get it wrong, and it's just about moving forward at our own pace. With what's right for us, and this is what I'm really passionate about, is helping you to tap back into what is right for you, what lines your heart up, what makes you feel great inside, and then the rest kind of takes care of itself then. So without any further ado, today is all about getting out of stress and increasing your energy through mastering your emotions and creating a life that you love. So why is this super important to you? And I encourage you guys as well just to take notes. We really do remember things at a very, very different level when we're taking notes. It lets our brain know that it's super, super important to us, and it really encodes it at a different level as well. So when we're thinking about why this is important to get out of stress and increase your energy, this is writing down why it's important for you. And grabbing out your journal or some blank pieces of paper and getting that information down. So why is it important? And of course we've got a very stressed mum there that's not feeling so happy within herself. And I'll just get you guys, just making sure that you guys can also see the screen as well. So if somebody else could just type yes in there, that would be fantastic. And I'll just make sure that you can definitely see the screen, so that would be brilliant. Excellent. Okie doke. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate that feedback. Sometimes it's a little tricky to know what's happening on the other end, so that's really great. So why is it important? And taking some time to write that down for you, some ideas that I have as to why it's important, and these may resonate for you as well, is it really impacts on our physical well-being. So it affects our mood, increases our blood pressure, it affects our immune system. Definitely I'm sure that we can all relate to that tightness in the stomach, or just not feeling well, or we get that gut level news where it's just it feels awful inside as well. So there's so many different effects that stress has on our physical body. It absolutely increases our cortisol levels. Now, cortisol is a longer-acting adrenaline that we definitely need cortisol. However, when we have too much cortisol in our system, it affects our sleep patterns. It interrupts our sleep patterns, and it actually makes us store extra fat as well, because it's literally telling the body we are in stress. We don't know if it's a feast or a famine, and the body is compromised as well, because it's kind of like the body's not worried about digesting breakfast or doing any of the other repairing and regenerative things that the body needs to do in order to have full wellness when it's trying to escape the tiger, per se. So our bodies are still physiologically wired as if we were back in the caveman days. So any form of stress is really an indication to the body you are not safe, you've got to get the hell out of there. And so then that affects our biochemistry within our body and really impacts on our physical well-being as well. So when we're in stress, it tends to create and attract more stress. And I absolutely loved this particular picture. I thought it really depicted it. Simply because when we're in that stress cycle, basically a particular emotion that we feel then will dictate almost to us, or it feels as if it's dictating to us, the action that we'll take. So if we're in a feeling of powerlessness or perhaps fear or despair, we're going to take very, very minimal action to improve our life, because it's kind of like, well, what's the point? Like, when we're in that emotion, the action that we'll take will generally not be a very resourceful emotion. Perhaps it might be, even emotional eating, or it might be overspending, or it might be just procrastinating, or things like that. And so then that that action then creates the new result. The new result, which is, not living how we want to be living, feeling angry, feeling annoyed, feeling frustrated with ourselves, then goes on to reinforce some of those negative beliefs and negative thoughts that we have and increases the level of stress in our life, which then again affects our actions, which then affects our results. This becomes a very vicious cycle. The good thing is that this actually happens in the reverse as well. So we can be in a positive or negative cycle at any point in time. So just remembering that wherever you are emotionally, it really relates to where you are energetically within your body as well, and how you're feeling in your body, which absolutely will affect the results that you're getting. And it really does, tend to. I'm sure that you've all had one of those days where you wake up and you accidentally kick your toe when you get out of bed, and you're thinking, oh God, it's going to be one of those days, and then you spill your coffee, and then you're late for work. And then it just spirals so quickly. So I'm excited today to give you the tools and strategies in how to interrupt those patterns and how to actually spin them on the spot to get back into a really positive upward cycle as well, instead of that continuous downward cycle. And when we're in that upward cycle, it is literally when life just gets better and better and better and better. And sometimes, when it can be frustrating for people that aren't feeling great, because it's like, dang, there's people that feel so happy, and why can't I get there? And it's really quite frustrating, and I'll explain a little bit of that a little bit later as well, because it just comes back to the emotional discord that we're actually feeling at the time. So the reasons why it's important to get out of stress and to improve your energy, we can start to attract great ideas, great money, success, love, health, inspiration, and good luck into our lives. It just literally flows so much easier. It's, life is fun. We just feel so much better as well. So it really is a matter of attraction in the energy that we're putting out is literally creating our tomorrow. So if we want a happy tomorrow, we've really got to stop and think, gosh, what's more important right now? Is it holding on to my old story or holding on to these old emotions? Or is it just that I need to let that go, clean the slate, and step forward again? And I'll be showing you how to do that today as well, which is really exciting. So again, stress, it creates so much exhaustion in the body, because it's kind of like trying to swim upstream without a paddle. And when we're in flow, when we feel great, when we're aligned with what we're wanting, when we have a clear vision, it's kind of like kicking back on a lilo and just allowing the river to take us to wherever it is that we want to go. And when we're not, it's like, it literally is like trying to swim upstream, and I don't know if anyone's tried to do that in the river. It is pretty tough work. So it definitely results in exhaustion and fatigue and not feeling great within the body as well. So if we want to feel better each day, again, just kind of like I said before, our days are mini versions of our lives. So every day that we're living, literally, collectively is making up our life. So if we're not feeling great each day, that's definitely going to impact on the life that we're living and how great we feel too. So absolutely just, this is becoming a while. I hope I'm getting some good leverage with you guys. If you have kids, being a martyr or working yourself to the bone, not allowing yourself to rest and take care of yourself, that is what we are actually teaching our kids. And I know for myself, my parents were extremely supportive and encouraging. However, they were extremely hardworking and very much perfectionist tendencies as well. And I say that with absolute love because, there's been a lot of good stuff that's come out of that as well. But at the same time, I've really had to pull back and remember and remind myself that, I don't have to push quite that hard at times. I think there's a time for everything, and sometimes we do just literally need to relax and take it easy. So, and the way that I actually do that and get out of guilt is I remind myself, gosh, what do I want for my kids? I want my kids thinking, they've got to be stressed and pushing all the time, taking care of everyone, or do I want them to know they can ask for help, they can do what they love, they can live a life that they love, they can relax, they can feel good in themselves. So we're always, and if it's not for our kids, I'm sure that you've probably got some children or some other people in your life that you you know, either family or friends or even work colleagues that we can really inspire and be role models for in showing them, you know, how we can get back in control of our emotions and just live a happier life as well. So, of course, like I said before, you know, if we're in stress, it's like rowing upstream. So, you know, it's so much easier if we're on the blow up tire, or you know, we're able just to kind of float downstream, and things happen easier and easier, and we get greater results. Again, it goes back into that upward or downward spiral as well. So that's super important. So there's lots of reasons why. I hope you guys have got your own individual reasons why, and I'm very much driven by why, simply because what's the point otherwise? So knowing your reasons why this is super important to get out of stress and to increase your energy is what will drive you and what will motivate you when you perhaps, you know, are feeling the urge to continue working, or the urge to, you know, continue that worrying and not coming back to a conscious place of choice. Then, you know, these are the reasons why that will motivate you to shift and change and to get leverage on yourself to make the changes that you possibly need to in your life as well. So what can cause stress? Literally, you know, and we've got a very anxious, kind of worried woman there as well, and so I'm sure that I can definitely put my hand up and say, you know, I've felt like that at times as well, and knowing what causes stress is kind of like half of the battle, because not only is it causing the stress, but it's also the opposite thing is the anecdote. So as we go through this, you'll see that there's a bit of a theme flowing back when we get into the next section as well. So our focus and the questions that we ask ourselves each day. So our focus is really the thoughts that we're thinking every single day and how that's actually feeling for us, in terms of are we thinking about all the things that could go wrong today, or are we thinking about what could go right? And I know that seems so basic and so common sense, and yet we get hooked into it so simply and easily. And I know even for myself, even with all the study that I've done and all the self-work and self-awareness that I've done, you know, occasionally I still get hooked back into that as well, and I'll explain why in a minute. And so it's really important to become consciously aware of how we're actually feeling, because when we're tapped into our body and how we feel in our emotions, that will give us a clue. If we don't feel great in our emotions, there's a thought that's been going on that is not resourceful for us. So we're either focused on a situation which is bringing us stress, or thinking, gosh, you know, whether I know financial stress is a major event at this time of year, generally with Christmas and everything coming up, and most people spending a little bit more than what they normally would. So, you know, if it's, oh, I haven't got enough money, or I'm worried I'm not going to have enough money. And then the questions that we ask ourselves as well. So instead of thinking about, well, how can I create more money, or how can I solve this, we tend to focus on, why is my life like this? Why am I always like this? Why does that always happen? And the questions that we ask ourselves is literally directing our mind all the time to what we're focused on. So the more that you tune into your thoughts, and some of you may already be doing this, and if you are, you know, I totally applaud you, because to begin with, it's a bit of a tricky practice. It's like, I don't know what I think. I just know that I feel awful, but I don't know why. And so journaling can definitely make a big difference around this as well, where it's kind of like, I'm feeling upset or I'm feeling worried about, and then literally just opening some of that up and starting to get clear on what is it that you're actually doing with your thoughts, and what questions are you saying to yourself or asking yourself each day that is tending to make you focus in a different area. You know, one of the biggest things that come up for people is, and this is actually in the next section, but I'm going to jump to it now, because it really is a very, very relevant for everyone, and it's the universal fear of, I'm not enough, and therefore I won't be loved. And I know when I first found that out, it's like, really? Everyone else feels like that? Oh my God, I thought I was the only one. And so sometimes we're trying to answer that question of, how can I be enough? How can I get more done? Or how can I get them to love me? Or just lots and lots of different unresourceful questions, because how can I be enough is presuming, it's coming from the presumption that you are not enough already. And so it's a self-defeating question. So the more that we can kind of really get clear on, well, what are the questions that I ask myself each day, or what are the things that I say to myself each day, what are the things that I focus on each day that are really, you know, just like a bad pair of clothes or bad pair of jeans that really need to be thrown out. They don't fit anymore, and they're not giving you the results that you want to in your life as well. So getting really clear on what that is. So definitely our focus and things can absolutely impact on the amount of stress that we feel and the type of questions that we ask ourselves. So worry and fear, definitely, you know, again, this is where our focus goes, and we tend to think that not all of us, however, you know, again, I can put both hands up here and say, when life is really tough and we feel like we're in a place of just surviving and getting through the day, we really are in a survival mindset, and the survival mind comes in. And when I say the survival mind, so there's a part of ourselves that is very much all focused on, and this is generally our ego that is trying to protect ourselves and trying to keep ourselves safe. So the universal fear is I'm not enough and therefore I won't be loved. And it is hardwired into us as babies, because literally as babies we need to belong, we need to be accepted in order to survive. So acceptance and belonging to the tribe and fitting in is hardwired into us. And so what can come up is that any time that we feel that we're not being who we need to be in order to be loved, so we're kind of going against the current, or we're not doing what other people want us to do, then it can feel very, very scary to our mind. Now the conflict that actually happens is our heart or our soul or whatever it is for you, your higher self, or there's another part of you that knows at all times that you are 100% safe, loved, worthy, appreciated, and perfect exactly the way that you are whilst you continue to evolve. It's just the same as, you know, a kindergarten child is no less valuable than a year 12 student. Just because they know a little bit less or they're a little bit earlier within their journey does not make them less valuable. It is only the mind that gets caught up with the concepts of I need to do this or I need to do that, otherwise I'm not worthy. I need to prove my worth. And the reason is because the mind is wired for survival, not for success. And so this can really start to increase a lot of fear, because it's constantly looking out for what is going to harm me or what's going to hurt me. So it's constantly looking to protect itself and to try and keep itself safe. So, for example, every single time, you know, you kind of get out of the comfort zone and, you know, perhaps go for a new goal, the mind is going to go nuts, because that is just what it does. It judges everything and it makes things good, bad, black, white, hot, cold, right, wrong. And so anytime that we're in a place of judgment or feeling like we need to defend ourselves or needing to protect ourselves, it's just our ego mind coming up trying to keep us safe. What happens is that we get so busy and so in our head that we forget to come back and to connect with our truest part of ourselves, which is quiet, it is calm, it is reassuring, and it is always present, but sometimes we don't allow ourselves to hear it simply because the roar of the survival mind and that monkey mind chatter is just so prevalent in our life. And so that's where meditation and lots of different things can really start to make an impact as well, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So coming back to, you know, why is there worry and why is there fear? It's literally the survival mind trying to discern, you know, is this going to hurt me or is this going to harm me, or what is it that I need to do to protect myself and to stay safe? So the next little bit is unsupportive rules. This is another thing that creates gigantic stress in our life as well. So you shall, you will, you must. this is not necessarily from other people. This is what we do to ourselves. I have to, I need to, I should. We should on ourselves all of the time. And so this will create really unresourceful emotions as well, where it makes it feel really hard to feel happy in life and hard to kind of get on with things, simply because we feel obligated, we feel that we have to, and it's exhausting, it's draining, it's tiring when we have those sorts of rules. So I'll show you a process in a little bit that is actually really helpful in just breaking those rules down and letting go of some of those concepts. The only reason that we have those rules is simply because that's what the ego mind has developed in terms of thinking that it needs to be these things or do these things in order to be loved, in order to belong, in order to be protected. We have so much going on between the ages of 0 to 7 of figuring out who we need to be in order to be loved and fit in with our family. So if you feel pretty quiet or pretty shy, it could be that you've grown up in a household where it was not safe for you to express yourself or to be loud or to be rowdy or be silly or things like that. So, that's not right or wrong or anything. It's only, again, the ego mind that will judge that. But it's what is going to fit best for you now as well, and starting to explore some of those things. The negative self-talk. So we've kind of spoken about that. I'm not enough and therefore I won't be loved. We all have different versions of that. Every single person has a story around that. I'm not enough. And each person has a story as to why they believe that's true. Now, mine was all about my weight and my self-image. I need to be thinner, I need to be prettier in order to be loved, and I need to be perfect in order to be loved. Now, that's a pretty hard task, obviously one that is not really great for us. So, sorry, I've just kind of jumped on with the extra slide there. I'll just go back. So the negative self-talk can definitely come up at times as well. And like I said, we all have a story around why that's true. Oh my goodness, sorry. We're flipping through there. We all have a story as to why that's true, and the more that we tell that story, the more that we reinforce that story, the more we will find evidence of why that is still true for us, and it will limit you, it will hurt you, and it will keep you restrained within that version of I'm not good enough as well. So it can be a really painful thing to have. So again, I'll give you some tools and strategies on how we can start to shift and change that as well. So again, the other thing that can create stress is life changes, and even good changes. Like I recently moved in with my gorgeous man, and I truly believe he is my soulmate on every level, and it's been a wonderful, wonderful thing, and yet it's still quite stressful simply because there's so much change. We're blending five children, all girls, as well, so that's kind of interesting in itself, and they're all gorgeous, but it has been a massive, massive change, and so we need to be consciously aware when there's big life changes happening, and sometimes, like I had happen as well with the breakdown of a relationship, the death of a loved one. Sometimes it can be loss of finances, loss of a job, all those sorts of things really can increase the level of stress because the survival mind is freaking out at the time, going, oh my God, I've lost all certainty, I don't know what's going to happen, I don't know how this is going to be, and I don't feel safe. So it goes into trying to control things, and I'll explain about that in a little minute. Our beliefs. So again, what we believe to be true about ourselves, about life, the things that we say, I am, is the most powerful thing that you can say to yourself, because you're literally instructing yourself to be that way, or to literally be that way. So it's like if you're saying I am strong, I am happy, I am peaceful, I am calm, you're instructing yourself to feel that way. Now when you say I'm not good enough, you're telling yourself, to not be good enough. So you're going to find more and more examples of how that's true. If you're saying life is hard, life is a struggle, you will find the things that actually support that, because that's your representation at the moment internally, and therefore that is what shows up externally in your world. And I have had it happen too many times when the second I change my internal belief and change my internal mindset, things change so rapidly in our external world. When I talk about our external world, it could be our physical body, it could be in the environment around us, it could be in our relationships. It's our experience outside of our head. So it's in the physical reality of how we're actually living life. it's so amazing, you know, the second that we really start to challenge some of these beliefs, and you know, whether that's in money or whether that's about life, and start to reaffirm, you know, what do I want to be experiencing? So life is a party, life is an adventure. You know, even thinking about that, and just the difference in emotions that you feel from saying the different statements is so different. So definitely challenging our beliefs, and you know, when there's particular negative ones coming up, you know, relationships are toxic, or men are, or women are, or family is, or, you know, we have so many different beliefs that have been reinforced time and time and time again. And again, it's kind of like going to our wardrobe and going, yeah, that one does not fit me or serve me at all anymore. And none of this is right or wrong. What I would challenge you on is to think consciously, is this serving me? Is this bringing me the level of happiness and joy that I'm wanting to experience in my life? And if it's not, it might be time to have a look at that and to start to shift and shape that and change that. So exhaustion and not taking time for ourselves, you know, this is a big one as well, where we feel, and this goes back into a lot of beliefs around who we believe that we need to be in order to be loved. So I've got to do more, I've got to push more, I've got to get it all done, and literally falling into a bucket of overwhelm and exhaustion, and just not taking time for ourselves. Anytime our physical body is not feeling great, that survival mind will come up even more. So I've noticed, particularly with me, if I'm tired or exhausted, that will definitely impact the way that I'm actually feeling too. So definitely taking time out for ourselves and making sure we get adequate time to sleep and recharge the body and repair ourselves. So the other thing that really increases our stress is not valuing ourselves or not doing things that fills us up. So we're not having enough fun, perhaps we're not relaxing, we're not taking time out for ourselves as well. So it's so imperative to actually value ourselves and to really value our own time as well, and to not feel like we've got to be giving it all away or doing everything for everyone else. Again, that just goes back to an unresourceful belief where we end up in anger and we end up in resentment because we feel that we're powerless to make the changes that we need to in our life. Loss of self. This can definitely come up, particularly if we're fully immersed in doing a lot of things for others, and we tend to forget what's most important to us. We become so flexible, so adaptable to outside circumstances, and we really forget what's most important to us as well. So I just want to do a quick check-in, guys. Is this resonating for you? Is this helpful for you? We will definitely get into the clearing the stress and overcoming the stress as well very soon. But it's good to really understand a lot of this. Like I said, a lot of this will actually be your anecdote as well. So if anybody is happy to, you know, pop some, either a question in a question box or in the chat section, just so I can know whether this is really resonating for you too. So that's wonderful. Thanks, Desiree. Really happy to hear that, darling. And that is brilliant. So hitting the mark there by the sounds. If anybody else has got any other things, that will be really helpful as well, just so that I know that this is resonating and it's on target and you know, addressing what we need to as well today. So loss of self definitely can be impactful as well. And then, of course, we want to look at, you know, our perception and the way that we're actually looking at things too. So I had definitely an incident come up the other day where I just received a message that that two people had decided something that was massively going to impact on me, and I was kind of like, oh wow, okay. I felt like I wasn't included. I felt like that was really impacting on me in a negative way, because it was like, you know, I didn't even get a say, I didn't even get a choice in the matter, which left me feeling powerless. And then I actually sat down and I thought about it, and I was like, oh my goodness, thank you also for the resonating there, Amy, that's really great. So, sorry, now I've just jumped back there and get back to the right thing. So when I felt this way, I felt really angry and really put out, and I was kind of like, gosh, how dare they make this decision without even checking with me? And then when I actually stopped for a second and I thought, hang on, they know that I'm absolutely flat out at the moment. They know that I've got a lot going on, and perhaps it was just they thought, gosh, we'll just take care of this and we'll just let Sal know, and that way then she just hasn't got to worry about it, she hasn't got to stress about it, she can just kind of show up and it's all taken care of. And I just thought, oh my God, that's just totally a different way of looking at things. So again, you know, that all stemmed from me just going into an unresourceful emotion and going, man, I don't, even if that's not true, that makes me feel a hell of a lot better when I think of it about that way. So again, this is a place of choice, guys. So we can always change the way that we're actually perceiving things and the way that we're looking at things. And this was a massive turning point in terms of overcoming, you know, some of the grief and some of the anger that I had around my marriage dissolving and my mum passing away, because it was like, oh my God, this actually is the biggest blessing ever. And that might sound really strange to say that, and of course I would have my mum back in a heartbeat. However, it was understanding that there is no way that I could have learned the things that I needed to learn or be living the life that I am now had I not gone through those experiences. They were absolutely essential to me developing self-love and self-worth for myself, because previously I tried to validate myself externally. So if anybody, you know, resonates with this, this is a tough space to be in, because literally we're handing over our whole control and our whole worth for other people to judge us on. And it all is depending on how they feel every single day, and so therefore how they interact with you, which then we're looking to go, oh my goodness, they don't like me, and it's got nothing to do with us. They could be just having a bad day. So it leaves us completely out of control. I used to feel like a little autumn leaf being blown around, and incredibly emotionally unstable, because I was so dependent on what other people thought of me and whether in their eyes I was worthy, I was lovable, and I was okay. So this was one of the biggest gifts for me after my marriage breaking down and my mum passing away, because my mum was a huge source of unconditional love for me, which, you know, I don't say that lightly either, because I know that, you know, there's a lot of people that don't get to experience that in their life as well. And so I even reframed it to, God, how lucky was I that I had 32 years with a mum that was so encouraging, that absolutely loved me beyond, you know, I just know that I was so loved by her. And so even looking at it that way, instead of going, you know, I've not got that now, it was really just, again, change the way that we shape things and the way that we look at things that makes such a difference as well. So the next part of that then is, why do we stress? And I've kind of touched on this a little bit, but it is literally the survival mind trying to get back control. It's when we get into a place of uncertainty because all the external things are changing, or perhaps things aren't happening in our external world the way that we're wanting them to. Either people aren't showing up the way that we want them to, they're not doing what we think that they should, so we're placing our own rules and our own expectations on them. Or perhaps, you know, it's things that we're not following through with, or we're not doing, and so we feel uncertain, we feel out of control, and so we're trying to get some sort of control back, and we think that we're going to do that through worrying about it. And it's so unresourceful, because it's focusing exactly on the things that we don't want. And so we think by focusing on it and worrying about it and looking at it and trying to solve that problem, then it's going to get us to where we want. And it's kind of like saying, and you know, the whole election actually was a perfect example of this. In so many people did not want Donald Trump to get into presidency, and yet it was exactly what happened, because you can't get what you don't want. Sorry, I probably said that the wrong way. You can't get what you want by looking at what you don't want. So it's kind of like you can't get healthy from thinking, I don't want to be sick, I don't want to be sick, I don't want to be sick. The universe does not hear the I don't want to. It's the sick. It's the focus. That's where the focus is. You can't get rich by studying what poor people do and then trying to do the opposite. It's not the opposite. It's two different things, and we need to start to shift our focus and our thoughts to what do I want instead, rather than do I know that I don't want this, and so if I worry about it and if I stress about it, perhaps, you know, I can finally get some control over it and start to shift our life. So Stress is merely a symptom. Whoops, sorry. Stress is merely a symptom. It's not the problem. So stress is just literally telling us, guys, you're off track. You know, it's like the bumpy bits on the highway that are saying you're going off the highway, you're getting off track, you're going to crash. And so stress actually is our friend. And I know, you know, that's going to sound so bizarre saying that, but it's literally telling us we are thinking an unresourceful thought. We are saying something that's really unresourceful to ourselves. We're heading in the wrong direction. It's a big red flag to say you need to stop and you need to think about what you do want instead, and then start to bring some of those things in. Now, I know that's easier said than done, and it does take a lot of conscious effort daily to be able to really start to shift this as well, because when things are going wrong in our external world, we do want to feel control, we do want to feel safe. Again, it's the survival mind just having a freak out and going, oh my God, I don't know if it's going to be okay. However, focusing on what we don't want is only going to increase stress. It is only going to increase that level of, like we said, the downward spiral, that the actions are going to be unresourceful. Therefore, the results aren't going to be what we want, and the downward spiral continues. So stress is literally saying to you, stop, stop, just stop, breathe. What do you want instead? So how do we overcome stress? Stress is really, it's again changing and mastering our emotions. The only reason stress is there is because we think that something is happening shouldn't be. It's fighting against reality, and I'm really, really excited to show you an emotional tool that, excuse me, I use every single day to be able to shift and shape my my emotions and to feel better every single day as well. So we really need to learn how to change and master our emotions every day. And when there's things that are kind of coming up that aren't resourceful, then we need to have a look at those and either journal about those, become consciously aware, and again ask ourselves, what do I want instead? Okay, I don't want to feel stress around finances at Christmas. What do I want to feel? Oh, I want to feel like I'm abundant. I want to feel like I can get through easily. And then we can actually start to implement a much greater action plan moving forward, which literally then, you know, when we're making the small steps and making the daily decisions, we'll start to pull us in a direction that actually feels like we're progressing and moving forward. And that's when we start to feel fulfilled. That's when we start to feel successful. That's when we start to feel that we're getting on track. And that increases our energy. It increases our drive. We feel excited. And life starts to get better and better and better. So again, lots of positive emotions there, and if you find it hard to access those emotions currently, then it's like going to the gym and starting to build that muscle. So thinking, consciously thinking, so often, sorry, I kind of jumped across a little bit, but so often we will negatively stack lots and lots of unresourceful emotions or stack what's going on. So it's like my life is like this and this is really hard, and then they did that, and then they said that, and then I couldn't get up and go to work because of this, and then that affected my finances, and now that won't happen. And so we're constantly stacking and stacking and stacking lots of negative emotion. We can actually consciously do this in a really positive way every single morning to get ourselves in a really, really great space. And this is literally the pathway that I took to be able to shift and shape the way that I felt. I was so negative. I was literally drowning in my negative self-talk when I was in that space, you know, over 8 years ago. And I literally, all that I did was I would get up every morning and I would put anything of Tony Robbins. I'm a massive Tony Robbins fan, but anything positive that I could get into my head. And I had a theory that if I finally put enough positive stuff in, negative, you know, positive would have to start coming out eventually. And it took longer than I thought. It actually took probably up to 6 months. Definitely there was changes along the way, but it took up to 6 months before I actually felt like life was really starting to change, and I was actually starting to think very, very differently, consciously and easily. Sometimes when we've practiced a negative emotion enough, we can access that like lightning fast. It's kind of like when we first learn how to drive a car, we actually have to consciously think through every single step. We hop in, we put the clutch in, we have to put our seatbelt on, we have to check the mirror, we have to put the gear in, and we have to, move the steering wheel, and we're consciously concentrating so hard to do all the steps that we need to. Pretty soon, if you've done that enough times, you can just jump in and drive the car. You can have a conversation, you can listen to music, hopefully, not on your phone and things like that, but you can look around, you can enjoy the countryside, and you can, and I'm sure that you guys have probably had that experience. I know I have, where I've literally driven like 200 meters and gone, oh my goodness, I do not remember driving that 200 meters. And that can be a bit of a scary thing too. But the point is, it becomes autopilot, it becomes part of who we are, and we don't actually have to consciously think about it. But there is 4 stages to consciously learning. And the first stage is, we don't know what we don't know, and so therefore we are unconsciously incompetent. And this is really a state of bliss. So we're just blissfully unaware. The next level is we become consciously aware that we don't know. So we're consciously incompetent, and this is a state of pain, because suddenly we now know that we don't know. And so we're in a lot of pain at that point emotionally, with our thoughts, but again, this can be applied to any area of learning. So whether it's learning more about yourself and your emotions, or whether it's just a simple task that you're learning at your job, this is the steps of actually learning things. The third step is effort, and this is because we are becoming consciously competent. So we are learning, and we are consciously aware of every single thing that we need to do in order to have that, or complete that task, or have that happen. The 4th stage, and this is where life gets really exciting, is when we get into a state of flow. And this is when we become unconsciously competent. So we're not even aware that we know that stuff. We just do it. It's second nature. It becomes part of our identity. It becomes part of who we are, and life gets easier and easier and easier. So this is what we want to do when we get back to mastering our emotions. And I know it sounds like a hard task. It is just literally the process of starting to become more consciously aware of how you're feeling, tapping into your physical body, and really thinking, how am I feeling at the moment? Oh, I feel sad. Why am I sad? Oh, I was thinking about, how I hadn't followed through with that, or perhaps, something to do with family, or something to do with ourselves. We haven't followed through, we haven't done enough, or whatever it is. And then it's like, oh, well, what do I want instead? And that's the pivotal question. Is it really starts us thinking about things and looking at things in a very, very different way as well. So changing our focus and questions, what would be great about this? And that was what I really started to shift and do when I was moving through, like I said, some of those painful emotions around my marriage dissolving and my mum passing away. It's like, well, what really could be great about this? What is the silver lining that I have not been looking at, or that I have not found in the past? What is it that I need to see about this situation that actually it could be a really, really great thing? And that was also what I did, just with my perception shift with the 2 people that had made the decision, and I felt kind of left out and everything else. It's like, what could be great about it? Oh, well, I actually don't have to deal with that or help decide now, or I actually don't have to, do too much around that. So it really changed the way that I actually felt. So we need to change our focus by the questions that we're asking ourselves. So instead of, and this is a really key distinction, instead of focusing on why is my life like this, why do I keep doing that, why do they do that, why is this happening, why is that happening, which is all negative focus. It's focusing on the problem. Simply by shifting, how can I change this, how can this be better, how can I have this instead, literally from why to how actually starts to focus on the solution rather than the problem. So it's very, very key in just shifting and shaping some of those things as well. So we need to value ourselves, and this is where it comes back to taking that time for yourself, it is so important. And for anyone in your life saying, that's selfish, you shouldn't be doing this, blah, blah, blah. Selfish is such a hypocritical word. It really, really gets me going. And simply because it's somebody else saying, I need you to be different so I can feel okay. And, that is just so hypocritical in itself. So being selfish, taking care of ourselves is really not selfish. It's being self-responsible. If we are angry, if we are tired, if we are exhausted, that is our job to fill up our bucket, to love and appreciate ourselves. It is not anybody else's job. And the more that you can do this, and I know it's a hard task because I've been there and I constantly go back there as well. This is not like a one-time certificate where, once you've got the answers, you're going to be happy forever. Life will always continue to challenge us because that's what life's about. We're here to evolve and grow. And part of our biggest problem is thinking that we shouldn't have any. We are here to be challenged, we are here to evolve, and that's my belief anyway, and it definitely serves me. So again, you can believe whatever you want, but if you believe that life is hard or life is not worth it, then that is going to be your experience. And if you really want to feel happy, if you're really committed, like I said at the start, to making these changes, I would challenge you to change those beliefs or those thoughts. So absolutely valuing yourself is absolutely imperative. And when we're filled up, when we feel great, when we're loving and appreciating who we are and taking time out to do the things that we love, we can give to others from absolute joy, where it absolutely energizes us and makes us feel excited and happy and wanting to be a part of that, rather than feeling drained and the bucket's empty and I have to, I need to, I should, obligation, anger, resentment, all that stuff. It is so toxic for ourselves, but it is also toxic for the person that we're doing the thing for as well, because they feel it. Even if they don't consciously acknowledge it, they will feel it on some level. And our family feels it at such a great level at times as well. So definitely, take that time out. Ask for help, value your time. This is your responsibility. It's kind of like when we're on the plane and the oxygen masks drop down, they don't say put the mask on everyone else first. They say put it on yourself first. So again, and I'm kind of saying this, I'm fairly strong about it only because I'm so passionate about it, because it took me forever to actually really learn this, and because I had such need to please tendencies, and I still have to be really consciously aware of if I'm going back into that identity as well. So again, life continues to evolve. It's not that I've got all the answers right or anything else. At the end of the day, I am still super human, but what I found is that when I get off track now, I can generally resolve it very, very quickly, in 30 minutes, an hour, a day generally at most. I can really start to resolve things and be looking at things in a very, very different way. Whereas in the past, something only minor might have really sideblinded me and taken me off track emotionally for, a good 2 to 3 months, and I would be blaming the world, I'd be blaming everyone else around me, instead of going, right, what is it that I need to do to take care of me right now, or what is it that I need to do in order to feel fulfilled, happy, content, and feel like I'm living a life that I love. So valuing yourself and being self-responsible is absolutely imperative as well, and it's definitely not selfish. And again, we bring that back to what do we want to be role modeling. So if we feel selfish or we feel guilty for taking time out and doing what we need to in order to feel okay, then we're telling our kids or telling our loved ones or telling our work colleagues that that's not okay for them to do that as well. So again, just being mindful around that and really starting to bring that in and to walk your talk if this is what you're super committed to as a person as well. So getting into the next one now. Sorry, I really went off on a tangent there. So investing in yourself. This could be with your time, with your money, with your energy, whatever it is. Again, this is imperative to really fill up your bucket and to take care of you. I've spent over 6 figures on my own education, in courses, in books, in mentors, in coaches. it is so imperative to invest in yourself, to be able to value yourself as well. Like, if you guys have got an expensive pair of glasses, or sometimes I use handbags. It's not a great analogy for me because I'm not really a handbag type of girl, but whatever kind of is a great analogy for you guys. But perhaps if you've gone out and you've spent good money on a handbag or a pair of sunglasses, we treat that so differently. If we spent $200 or $300 on those things, we treat them so differently to maybe a $5 or $10 pair that we've bought down at the local servo just to get us by. So we treat ourselves differently when we're investing in ourselves, and it's one of the best things that we can do to continue to grow and evolve and be all that we can be each day as well. I really think that's important. And again, revisiting some of the material that you may have already studied or learnt, because we get things at a very, very deep level. I was just discussing this with a client yesterday and was saying, yeah, you can listen to something and hear it, and then you listen to it, maybe 6 months later or 12 months later again, and it's like, oh my God, that is not what I got from the first time I listened to that. Simply because we've grown, our perceptions change, and we take things in at a deeper level every single time as well. So investing in yourself is absolutely paramount to getting out of stress, increasing your energy, feeling good. One of the main things to feeling good and increasing our own personal energy is definitely feeling like we're progressing, that we're moving forward. And when we're investing in ourselves and we're taking the steps to do the things that we love for ourselves, and one of the things that I did recently, I have temporarily stopped that, but I'm about to start that again very, very soon, and that was actually getting piano lessons. And I know that might sound corny or even silly, but it fills my soul up to play the piano. And so I finished my lessons when I was like 12 or 13 and didn't have a piano for a very, very long time in my life. And so one of the main things that I did when my marriage broke down, literally went out and bought a $100 piano, and then I got to upgrade that a couple of years ago, and that was just the biggest joy for me in taking something that I absolutely love and then actually getting formal lessons again and really progressing my piano playing. It's just such a joy. So whether that's art lessons for you, or whether that's even pole dancing, or a gym membership, or whatever it is, it might be an educational course, it might be something that is going to make a difference and make you feel better, definitely get out there and invest in yourself. It's one of the best things that we can do as well. Getting enough sleep, so imperative. I know for myself personally, the second I get tired, I am so less resilient when it comes to my emotions. Like, I become very emotionally unstable, and my ability to be able to deal with things is very, very minimized. So definitely getting enough sleep. There's definitely scientific studies done, that between 7 and 8 hours is optimal for the human body. If we're getting less than 7 hours sleep, it is equal to having the cognitive function of somebody that's been drinking alcohol. Now, for a long time, I survived on 4 or 5 hours sleep, and the point is, I was surviving, I wasn't thriving. And the more that I've implemented this and strive for at least 6 to 7, if not 7 to 8 hours sleep, and sometimes I'll have a big catch-up where I'll just do a 10 hours straight, but getting enough sleep, is absolutely imperative to our ability to deal with things and to feel less stress in our body. Our body needs that time to regenerate, to repair, to help itself feel good as well. So that is super, super important. I know it's common sense. Again, it's not always common practice. So definitely getting enough sleep is really important. Building resilience and confidence through small daily steps. Now, this was one of the biggest keys to me continuing to move forward and make massive, massive progress in my life, to the point where, the steps that I can take today feel like giant leaps, literally, compared to what I used to be able to do. And the only reason for that is that I built up so much self-belief and so much confidence over a period of time just from consistently showing up for myself as well. I think that this is super, super important when we're starting to make the changes that we want to, not getting into overwhelm that we've got to change it all today, that it's got to all happen today. Doing those small, tiny, just 1 to 2 actions will build self-belief and confidence like you can't believe. The compound effect is absolutely key. It trumps everything. And there's a bit of an analogy that I normally give in one of my courses, and that's if you could take $3 million today, if you were given that today, or the choice between having 1 cent double every day for 31 days, which one would you take? And a lot of people go, no, I'd definitely take the 3 million. And it's because we don't understand the compound effect. If you actually took the 1 cent, doubled every single day, and I challenge you to do this on the calculator, I certainly did, because I was like, no, that can't be right. It ends up to be well over $10 million and 700,000 and something. I haven't got the exact figure in front of me, but it's well over $10 million that it results in 31 days. And if you think just 1% change today, which is quite easy to do, it might be the extra glass of water, it might be 10 minutes of doing something for yourself, or a cup of tea out in the sun, or it might be catching up with a friend, or reading a good book, whatever it is for you personally. But making that 1% change over a year is 365% change. So that's mammoth. But the key here is definitely consistency. And I have to say, it is one thing that I have been really, really good at, is I am disciplined in my approach, and I have a morning ritual that I do every single day, which I'm really excited about, because that's what I'll be sharing also at the end, is literally my morning ritual, which allows me to live a life that I love every single day, because I get myself into a really great space emotionally, which enables me to handle things, to create things, to deal with that survival mind fear that comes up. And it's kind of like an old friend now. It's like, oh, there you are. Okay, yep, we know that fear's there. Okay, what do we want instead? Okay, let's just move forward. And so it becomes a very simple and easy process, even though that fear is still coming up. I acknowledge it, but I know what it is, and I know what I take time to check in with my heart's desires and with literally my higher self, and to hear what it's got to say every day through quietening the mind through meditation, so that I can feel guided every single day in that I'm doing what's right for me today. And from that, I know that I'll attract the relationships and I'll have the experiences that I love and that make me feel fulfilled in life. So building resilience and self-confidence through small daily steps is definitely imperative to getting out of that stress. Changing our physiology, exercise and nutrition, and I'm looking at the time going, oh my goodness, I hope you guys are okay with that. Again, if you do have to go, just feel free to jump off at any point, and you'll definitely still get the recording anyway. So I will try and move through it a little bit quicker. We are almost there. But changing our physiology, exercise and nutrition is definitely important. From a kinesiology point of view, our muscles actually hold emotions in them. And I know that sounds really silly, but if you have a sore arm or a sore leg, there is an emotional reason behind that as well. It may have also been a physical trauma, but if say, for example, somebody's had a shoulder reconstruction and 4 months later, 6 months later, they are still having problems with that shoulder, there is something that they feel burdened by, there is something that's going on for them that they're holding within that shoulder as well. So our body literally has like a muscle memory of the emotions that we hold. Every single one of you could definitely identify, I'm certain, a depressed person versus a confident person. And that is because the way that we hold our body is actually a universal pattern to how we feel. So we can tap very quickly into what people are feeling and what emotions they're feeling simply by how they hold their body. If you want to change your emotions, change the way you're sitting or standing as well. And a lot of the time, going from feeling depressed or feeling down or feeling a bit scared about yourself to feeling confident is literally shifting the sternum by 2 millimeters, just lifting it. It is so small and so subtle that you may not notice the difference, but just try it now, just sitting there and just lift it slightly, and it's like a sense of pride or this sense of, oh my goodness, kind of comes up. Like, sometimes I'm not really good at describing emotions, but it is, like, changing our physiology definitely makes a massive, massive difference to how we're feeling. Of course, exercise, if we're in a pattern of perhaps anger or frustration or depression or sadness, working on our exercise and moving our body is one of the most resourceful things that we can do, because again, it's interrupting that pattern of physiology of how we've previously held our body. If you're doing push-ups or you're doing sit-ups or you're doing, going for a run or even a walk, chances are you are holding your body in a very different position to how you normally have it. So if you, like I said, need to break that pattern of physiology. Exercise is one of the best ways to do it. It also obviously stimulates lots of great endorphins, lots of good things within our body. And again, nutrition is a massive part of this too. If you are eating rubbish, it is time to clear that stuff up. Guys, I know it's tough, particularly if we're in emotional eating and things like that. I put on 10 kilos in a month after my mum passed away. I get it. I understand it. The emotional eating is not the cause, it is the effect, it is the symptom of you not mastering your emotions. And I say that again very emphatically, simply because I have been on that journey. I know it's not an easy journey. If you're finding that you are comfort eating and things like that, it is because there's unresourceful emotions going on, caused by unresourceful thoughts, rules, beliefs about how life is, how you are, or how others are. So really just checking in. Green smoothies are great for reducing acid in the body. Again, stress massively impacts our body, increases inflammation, all of the major diseases, cancer and diabetes and arthritis, and all of those things are caused through inflammation in the body, which is caused through an over-acid body. So things that create acid in the body are things like too much dairy, too much gluten, too much refined products and sugars, too much meat product, too much alcohol, too much caffeine, things like that really increase the level of acidity in our body, things that alkalize the body, lots of water, lots of greens, lots of citrus. You know, fresh, healthy food, whole food that your body can recognize. I'm very big on not telling people what to eat, but just bringing that body awareness. How do you feel after you've eaten something? And the more that you tune into that, if you feel bloated, if you feel tired, if you feel exhausted, if you know, get a big sugar high and then you crash afterwards, that is indicative of something needs to change within your diet as well. It absolutely impacts on your emotions and your ability to have that emotional resilience as well. So it will increase the level of stress simply because if we don't feel great in our physical body, it's like having a hangover. Oh my God, anything is going to trigger us. So again, sleep, nutrition, exercise, again, I know it's common sense stuff, but it's not always what we're doing. So if that's, you know, needs to be taken care of, just hop out and do that as well. So the other thing is getting out of overwhelm. So definitely overwhelm can cause a lot of stress for us when we feel like there's a lot to cover, a lot to get through. So again, I feel like a bit of a fire hydrant here, giving you guys lots of information, just remembering that you'll get the recording as well. So you can kind of break this down and just move through, you know, little bit by little bit as well. Don't feel like you've got to work on all of this at once. My role, my aim here today is give you as many tools as possible. Pick what resonates, what will work best for you as well moving forward. So this is something that I absolutely love, which is called the 4 quadrants. And literally, if I'm in overwhelm, and my month of November was massive, I literally moved houses, blended our 5 children, wrote a book, lost 5 centimetres off my waist, tripled my income, and launched a program all in 1 month, and also had a couple of investment properties kind of getting sorted as well. Oh my God, like massive leap. And I don't say that, you know, from a place of ego or boasting or anything else. It literally is, oh my God, I can't believe that this all happened. And years ago, I would have never dreamed that that was possible. But my ability to continue to work on myself, to hold my emotions, to be able to use these 4 quadrants to focus on what's most important now and to fully utilize my time to be most productive is the key to be able to start creating those bigger changes in your life and having loads and loads and loads of good stuff happen. So I was really excited and blown away with the month of November. I'm super excited about 2017, and it all comes from getting clear on what we want, focusing on what we want, and getting into alignment as well. So I will talk about that in a minute too. So back to the 4 quadrants. Literally quadrant 1, so the process that I actually do, if I've got a lot going on, I will do a massive brain dump. Get that stuff out of your head. It needs to be out of your head. If you have got lists circulating in your head, that will drive you nuts and it will put you into a state of stress immediately. Simply because we're trying to remember, we get scared, we're going to forget what's on our list and what needs to happen and everything else. So the more that we can get it down on paper or in digital form, whatever works best for you, but get it out of your head. You will sleep so much better. The next step is going through And I use these 4 quadrants to discern what it is that I need to work on. And I also use another thing, which is delete, do, or delegate. So I'll look through my list and I'll go, really, actually, that's really not important. And I will delete that. I will get that off my list. If there's anybody that I can leverage stuff to, perhaps, I highly recommend getting a house cleaner. It took me far too long to actually allow myself to do that. But it is the best money I spend once a fortnight, hands down. Having somebody take care of that for me enables me to have the energy that I want, the focus that I want on my business and my family and my relationships that is super important to me, and it just frees up my time. So leverage anything that you can. Perhaps that might be to your kids. I've certainly done that in the past as well, or to other people that things that they find simple and easy, and perhaps you can do something that you love for them where it's like a bit of a trade, but it just works so much better for you because you actually really enjoy doing that particular thing and you're helping them out in the process and they're helping you out. So it's a really great way. So the 4 quadrants come back to quadrant 1 is we are living in a state of stress. This is reaction quadrant, which is important and it is urgent. And so these are the things that have dire consequences if we don't take care of them immediately. So super, super important. It is literally, this is, when the child's sick at school, it could be the relationship breakdown, it could be the call from the doctor, you need to get in here fast. It could be, I'm just trying to think, a financial crisis because we haven't been taking care of the budget or looking at our figures. It is the dire impact that it will have on our life if we do not take care of that immediately. Now the problem is we make everything quadrant 1. And so we're living in this state of constantly putting out bushfires and being in a state of reaction instead of a state of joy or flow or feeling excited. When we live in quadrant 1 for far too long, we need to go to quadrant 4, which is literally it's not urgent and it's not important. These are the things that we do to procrastinate, to avoid, to escape our life, generally not from a conscious point. And, there's nothing wrong with doing quadrant 4 stuff, so long as we're doing it from a place of conscious choice, in which case, I believe it really goes back into a quadrant 2 thing, which is prevention, planning, and improvement. So this is spending at least 70% of your time in a proactive state. This is the things that aren't urgent but are important. So this is like taking care of your health and nutrition so you're not getting the crazy call from the doctor. This is taking care of your relationships so suddenly, you're not finding yourself in a divorce. This is, and I obviously say that tongue-in-cheek, knowing that full well of where I was and what I went through. This is also, focusing on doing the budget or taking care of your finances or looking at, where you're at financially and making the decisions and choices moving forward from a place of, well, this is what I do want moving forward. So when we're living, at least 70% of our time is focused in that area, we are being proactive. It is a lot calmer, it is a lot less stressful, and makes just things so much easier as well. The next quadrant is quadrant 3, and that is things that aren't important but are urgent. And this generally becomes, other people's emergencies that become our urgencies. So these are the things that we're interrupted with constantly. So I highly recommend, if you're doing blocks of work, turn off your phone, turn off your emails, sit down and have that 50 minutes of focus time where you set the timer and you just get in and get things done. It's the interruptions which absolutely reduce our productivity. It can take us off track. It becomes our emergency. It adds stress and so many different things to our life as well, which makes things really tough. So again, and then we get into quadrant 4, which again is the procrastination, and that might be wasting time on Facebook, reading a trashy magazine, just tendency of escaping our life in some way, shape or form, or trying to numb ourselves. And again, it's not that I'm opposed to those things, but definitely do that from a conscious place. So that might go back into quadrant 2 as time out and relaxation time, where you do just literally want to flip through Facebook, mindlessly, or read the trashy magazine, or just hang out and just have nothing to do for an hour or two and actually have that as relaxation time as well. So using these 4 quadrants, all that I do when I've done my brain dump, I just go through and I mark things. Are they a quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, or quadrant 4 thing? These days I have very little quadrant 3 and 4. If I do have quadrant 1s, generally it's only 1 or 2 things, and I immediately start to feel calmer and more relaxed in myself, simply because I know that once I, just tick those couple of things off, and then it's into cruisy street. It's back into being proactive and taking care of things. So it is a super, super resourceful tool. It's great for our emotions and just helping feel calmer every single day as well. Another thing is invite in relaxation, play, and having fun. This is so, so, so important. And this is what will fill our bucket up as well. So relationships definitely go back into that. Good health definitely goes back into that. But taking the time out that you need to relax and play and have fun as well. Super, super important. I won't spend too much time on that. You will know what that is for yourself personally. And so that's really, really great. So again, doing things that you love, that goes back into that quadrant 2 sector as well, of just, bringing in the important things. And that might be, a special date night. It might be some fun traveling somewhere, or having an experience that you've never had before, or learning something new, or just spending time on something that, you're curious about learning. I love the energy of curiousness as well. So the next one that I really want to show you guys and talk you through is working on your emotions daily, and this is using a technique which is by a lady called Byron Katie. And without spending too much time on where she was at, I believe that she's in her 70s these days. She is such a beautiful, beautiful soul. But she was literally in her 40s. She ended up at a halfway house. She's from America. She was an alcoholic and depressed and couldn't get out of bed for 3 months. And she had the epiphany when she woke up at this halfway house, which I believe is like a rehab center over in America. She woke up and she realized that all of her thoughts were causing her distress and causing her problems in her life. And so she actually gives like worksheets out which actually have these questions on them. So what we do is we just write down the thought or the belief. So it might be I'm not enough, or they need to, or I need to. So if we took, for example, I'm not enough, then you ask yourself, can I absolutely know that it's true? And sometimes this will be yes, and sometimes it's no. It's okay. Don't get too hooked up in that. The more that you can really inquire within yourself, though, if I had to answer yes forever, would that absolutely be true? And if it's like a maybe, then it's a no. So again, just getting really clear on that. And then the second one is, how do you feel or react when you believe that thought to be true? So if we're working on the thought, I'm not enough, I feel depressed, I feel sad, I feel lonely, I feel worthless, I feel like a piece of dirt on the ground, I feel, and I'm being fairly dramatic with it, but seriously, like I did this work for 2 hours a day for 7 weeks straight, and it's free. I'm not saying you have to do that, but oh my God, the level of freedom that I had after doing that, because our emotions are literally like onions, and there's lots and lots of layers to them, and if you've thought a thought for so long that you've believed it to be true, I'm telling you now, there's going to be lots of layers to that. So every single time you question this once, it's like pulling off a layer. So if you find that you question the thought, you're feeling a bit better in the moment. However, that thought comes up again either later that day or later that week. And it's like, oh, it didn't work. It did work. You just need to do some more work on it. Generally, we have 60 to 90,000 thoughts a day. I have no idea who measured that or who came up with that, but apparently that's true. And so a lot of our thoughts that we had today and yesterday are the same thoughts that we had the day before. So a lot of it is very, very repetitious. It's kind of like the autopilot, the learning the car, learning how to drive the car. And we have to break that up and literally question those to a point where it's just like we pull off so many layers of the onion that we just get to the core and the whole thing drops away. So again, how do I feel or react when I believe the thought to be true? If I feel that I'm not enough, I feel sad, I feel lonely, I feel depressed, I feel it doesn't matter what I do, I feel powerless. Perhaps, I withdraw from people, I hide from people, I don't want to do things, I feel bad within myself. And then how do I feel or respond when I don't believe the thought to be true? And if I didn't believe that thought, well, I'd actually probably feel like I was enough. I actually feel calm. I feel relaxed. I feel okay within myself. I feel a sense of just peacefulness. And what this actually will do is this will bring you back to your truest self time and time and time again. It is your heart that knows the truth at all times of who you are, and that you are absolutely lovable. You are beautiful. You are. There's nothing that you need to do. There's nothing that you need to prove at any point in time. You are enough as you are, and it just really allows such a great sense of freedom within ourselves as well. So take yourself through this, write down any thoughts or beliefs which you find challenging or are currently creating unresourceful emotions, and literally take yourself through this process. So I highly, highly recommend doing it. It's something that I do every day if I've got some emotions coming up from the previous day or something that's happened and I've got a big, strong emotional reaction around that. I will jump in and I will take care of this. And even questioning the thoughts, I need to be loved, or I need to be appreciated, I need to be respected. I've also done those ones because that's when I'm putting things on other people and expecting that from other people. So when I write down I need to be loved, how do I feel? I feel needy, I feel sad, I feel depressed, I feel worried, I feel guarded, I feel criticized, I feel judged, I feel upset. And you know, it can take you very, very deep, very quickly emotionally, and that's okay. I did this with like boxes and boxes of tissues and howled my eyes out when I did it because it was at such a deep core level that I believe some of these things to be true. And then how do I feel or respond when I don't believe that thought that I need to be loved? I feel loving. I feel loved. I feel like I don't need to justify anything. I feel okay. I feel at peace. I feel calmer. And even if it's only, you know, the subtlest change for you when you first do this, keep doing the work simply because it will start to evolve into bigger and bigger and more freedom and more freedom. And this is the way that I overcome my biggest fears as well. So when I'm scared about taking that next step or following through or thinking, oh, they're going to judge me or what are they going to think of me? You know, if I write that down, they're going to judge me. Can I absolutely know that's true? Of course I can't. How do I feel or react? I feel like I want to hide. I'm guarded. I'm sad. I'm worried. I'm concerned. I feel judged. I feel criticized. How do I feel if I didn't believe that thought? Oh, I feel calm. I feel at peace. I feel responsive. I feel alive. I feel peaceful. So there's lots and lots of different things that you can do this with, but definitely questioning your thoughts is one of the best keys, particularly if they're a painful thought. And I even did this on my mum passing away. My mum shouldn't have died. Can I absolutely know that's true? No, it's not. How do I feel? I'm devastated, heartbroken, you know, a lot of emotion around that. How do I feel or respond when I didn't believe the thought to be true? I felt peaceful, I felt calm, I felt connected to her. And so it really shifted things and changed things in a very, very big way as well. So I definitely recommend that one. The next emotional tool that I want to give you guys, and I will wrap this up very, very soon, is literally using your emotions as guidance as well. So this is the emotional guidance scale, and literally, you know, you can see those unresourceful emotions down the bottom. So fear, grief, depression, despair, powerlessness. And as we move up, the emotions get lighter and lighter. So you know, the emotion of powerlessness, we can't move off the couch, we feel tired, we feel exhausted, we don't feel good in ourselves. And then when we get into anger, you know, we're generally in action when we're in anger. We're pacing, or we're doing something, or we're thinking, oh, well, I'll teach them, or whatever's coming up for you when you're in a feeling of anger. Discouragement is lighter than anger. Doubt is lighter than discouragement. Overwhelm and disappointment, you know, feeling disappointment compared to hatred, that is a lot lighter emotion again. Frustration, impatience, pessimism, boredom, curiousness. Boredom is such a cool place because it's very, very neutral with the emotion, and you can probably get a feel around that too in how you're actually feeling. So, and curiousness, it's kind of like, oh, I'm curious how this might change. And we can really start to shift things on an emotional level once we get to that space. Contentment, courageousness, optimism, hopefulness, positive expectation, passion, enthusiasm, happiness, love, joy, and gratitude. You know, we can feel how amazing and the shift in energy around those particular emotions. Now, what actually happens a lot of the time is that we're taught as kids that it's wrong to be angry. So we generally will feel in an emotion of powerlessness, and we'll start to come up through the emotions, and you get to anger, and then it's like, oh, it's wrong to be angry, I shouldn't be angry, that's bad to be angry. Perhaps you were sent to your room. I know I was when I was angry. I don't come out until you're happy. And so even though it's a resourceful emotion because it's taking you in the right direction, and it's not that we want to act on that anger or lash out at people or things like that, but when we can actually allow ourselves to feel angry and to move through that into doubt, into worry, we know that we're actually heading in the right direction. And what happens is that also, you know, if people are feeling in a sense of powerlessness and somebody like me comes along and goes, oh, you just need to get grateful, and then it's like, it's just such empty words, I'm happy about my life. So what, who cares? And it's because we can't get there emotionally, it is too big of a jump. But when you use this particular system, decide where you are emotionally and then start to move yourself through those emotions by stating a statement around a particular subject. So for myself personally, I might pick money, I might pick health, I might pick my energy, I might pick time, I might pick relationships, and I'll use perhaps time, because that's a big one for everyone. So I feel I would just tap into wherever I feel. I'll just run you guys through this really quickly. So perhaps, you know, I'm feeling a sense of powerlessness. If I've got a lot going on, you know, I feel powerless that I've got enough time. I feel like I just don't have enough time and I can't get everything done that I need to. I feel guilty when I'm not following through with the things that I need to. I feel really angry that I didn't get to a couple of things that were really important for me. I feel so discouraged when I think about everything that I need to get done. I doubt that I can get it all done in time. I feel so overwhelmed and so disappointed with how I feel. I'm frustrated and I'm impatient and it's not happening quicker. I'm pessimistic that, gosh, if this continues, my life is just going to be so stressful. I'm bored with actually having too much to do and doing this to myself all the time. I'm curious how this might change. I am content in so many areas of my life, and I know that my time is so valuable. I'm really optimistic that the more that I focus on what I do want and creating what I do want, I'm hopeful that I can make the changes that I need. I feel really positive that I can definitely start to make some changes with my time and perhaps maybe say no a little bit more as well. I'm passionate and enthusiastic about spending more time doing things that I love and feeling better within myself. I have such joy and appreciation for my life and for how I feel, and excitement and love and gratitude for how I do spend my time and how much time I actually do get with my kids and my loved ones, and doing things that I really love and appreciate. And I can see that, you know, I have more time than ever before available to myself and my life. And so that's just a really quick example, guys, of how you can actually move through it. You just pick a subject and you write down one particular sentence on one or two of those emotions within each of those lines. So this is something that you can come back to time and time and time again in being able to take you out of overwhelm and out of stress and increasing your energy. How you feel emotionally absolutely affects your physical energy on a really, really big level. So with all of that, I am really excited to speak very, very quickly, and I am mindful of your time. Thank you for your patience today, guys. I do hope that this has been super, super helpful for you in getting out of stress and overwhelm and increasing your physical energy. And I have an opportunity moving forward, which I'm really excited to share with you guys, which is 7 days of aligned living. Now, I got a bit excited this morning, and I've actually changed that to 14 days of aligned living. And so this is actually an online course that I'll be running literally starting on Monday, and I do have an early bird special today. The course is normally $197, but you can actually get it for $97 today. Now, what you will get with that is literally being able to converse with me daily on within the Facebook online group as well, in terms of getting some answers, getting some clarity, and I'll be taking you through literally, you know, what is it that you do want? I'll be taking you through, you know, what is it that you need to accept in your life, and how can you receive more back into your life? Why do you want what you wanting to create, and why do you care about it? And this also will build more belief around how that can happen for you. It's about bringing in joy and excitement and deciding who it is that you're going to be each day as well, and then aligning with that vision emotionally, physically, mentally, and really starting to step into that space. Again, it's taking aligned action. So when you get into the space where you feel really great, then you know that the actions that you will take, it's kind of like heading down the river and floating on the blown up tire and just relaxing. And it's still definitely taking action, but it's in a much calmer way. It's in a much more ease of flow and doing things that feel good and feel right for you, instead of being in struggle, instead of being in effort, instead of feeling like you're constantly swimming upstream to get to where you want to, which of course is never going to take us there. It's only going to bring more of what we don't want. It's mastering your emotions. And again, I'll be putting some of these videos up as well in terms of how to actually align with your emotions, how to increase your emotions, which increases your energy, which again then allows you to attract more of what you want and to get the different results and everything else that you perhaps from what you've been creating at the moment. And again, there's no right or wrong. It's just, is it what you want and do you feel good? So again, it's only the ego mind that will judge any of that. There's no wrong or right place to start or to be. Wherever you are right now is absolutely perfect for you. You can't get this wrong from this space. There's only moving forward and finding more ease and getting, like, feeling that life is getting easier and better every single day. And this is what comes from living an aligned life. It's about bringing through more conscious awareness of the thoughts and beliefs that you have and bringing more choice and more meaning to the events as well. We activate gratitude and also notice the small miracles that happen in our life every day that perhaps if we're stressed or we're overwhelmed, we're not even taking time to notice. It's about keeping positive focus, about surrendering, and when I say surrender, you know, sometimes there's just things that we need to let go of. We get so attached to having things be a specific way that it makes it really hard, and we actually get stuck there because we're resistant to being where we are and doesn't allow us to move forward as well. So this is really, really key in allowing yourself to manifest things very quickly and very easily, and it's literally the process that I took myself through in November to be able to get the results like so fast and so easily. And I am, God, after I realised, you know, how monumentous November was for me, I'm so passionate about sharing this with others because you guys can absolutely have and be and do whatever it is that you want. And I truly believe that from the very, very deepest part in my soul, in my heart, in my being. And I am so passionate about helping you guys get there as well. It's about asking for help, so reaching out, you know, when we are struggling, when we are stressed, reaching out and asking for a little bit of help, trusting in the process, having faith, and that doesn't necessarily have to be religious faith, but it's having faith and getting a sense of certainty that no matter what comes up, you can move yourself through this as well. So I'll be asking questions each day. I'll be setting up the group in Facebook. So if you are keen, there is a group already set up, which is 14 days of aligned living. So definitely jump on Facebook, find that group, and add yourself to it. It is a public group at the moment. As soon as Monday happens, it will become a closed and secret group, and all of the live training will be delivered in there. And I'll be putting some really prominent questions to get you thinking and to help you move through this, where you've got these 14 days with me. Originally it was only going to be 7 days, but I will be doing also live feeds in, you know, literally when I'm up at 4 or 5 in the morning doing my process. This is going to be what you get to see. You get to see the real deal, the rawness. It might be messy hair and lots of different stuff. Who knows how it'll all play out. I'm also flying over to Perth and doing a course over there for 3.5 days. So it's going to be an interesting time. However, sharing this with you guys is super important for me as well. So I'll be asking questions each day for you to journal and move through. And again, you know, like anything I do, there is also a full money back guarantee. However, the early bird price will only last until Monday at 9 a.m. So you're welcome to join the group obviously after that. However, the price will be $197 if you're not getting in beforehand. So super excited about that. Now, jumping in really quickly to any questions that you guys have or anything that needs to be answered there, more than happy to answer those. So quickly type away in the chat box and the question box, and I'm more than happy to address or answer anything that you guys have there, or just any comments or feedback that you have about your experience today and what you've learnt today as a result. I'd be more than happy to chat further about that. And if you don't have any questions, you know, you can just pop down all good, set to go, and that is all good too. I just want to make sure that there are no particular questions there or anything. Okay, so if there's no further questions, guys, we might call it a wrap. And thank you so much for your time, for your energy today, for being present. Oh, hang on, I'll just check and make sure. All good. Okay, yep. So thank you so much, Amy, for that as well. And I hope that that's been valuable to you guys. And feel free to share that also with others. I'm keen to get the message out that, you know, we really can change and shift our emotions. We can get out of stress. And I know that some of these things probably appear a little bit simplistic. However, it's the commitment and the follow through to why that's super important to each of us individually as to why we make those changes as well. So have a fantastic rest of your weekend. And again, thank you so much for your time. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the course if that resonates for you. If not, completely okay. Yeah, but I'll definitely enjoy hanging out with you guys in the course if that is the right fit for you too. So have a great weekend, guys, and I will catch you later. Bye.